Business Studies, Management and Management Process. Competency level number 12. Every student should have knowledge about this management process and management. First, we should understand what is management. Management is a very essential thing, essential process for a development of organization. It's working with and through others to achieve the stated goals and objectives of an organization. Management play a vital role, especially nowadays in dynamic business environment. Retain to the organization in the business, this management is very important. By utilizing limited resources effectively and efficiently, involving the human being, this management is very, very important. That involvement of human, the management is a art of the getting things done through others. Now, who is really responsible for this management functions, management process? Manager is the responsible person. What he should do? He should implement management all the function for what? To achieve the goals and objectives of an organization. For what thing he should be focused? He should be focused all the relevant resources utilized effectively and efficiently for this management process. Now, efficiency means doing things right. That means doing the things correctly. But effectiveness is the most important thing. It gives the relevant relative results. This theory developed by Peter Drucker. So any organization, to get the productivity, the efficiency and effectiveness both are important, but effectiveness more important because it gives the stated or forecast results. Now we should understand what is the manager's role. Now, especially in the exam, lot of time they have asked, according to Henry Mintzberg, what is the role? What role played by the manager? There are three roles, according to Mintzberg. Three roles. First one is interpersonal role. Interpersonal means how he have a relationship with people. Now, especially manager should work as that leader's role, and he should maintain a relationship with others. He is the figurehead of the organization. That roles come under interpersonal roles. Another thing, nowadays informations are very important. Now that internal environment, he must declare to the outside. For that he is the spokesperson. He is a monitor. Right? That is the one important role he played, informational roles. And as a manager, one of his most important work is making correct decision. Now, sometimes manager is behave as a entrepreneur. Entrepreneur means selection, getting right out of all alternative solution. He should understand what is the best solution. That's the job of an entrepreneur. That is a decision. And he is really the available resources he should allocate to the relevant areas and manage the person who will negotiate with customer, negotiate with staff. So in the decision making role, he work as a negotiator also. Now the manager, to do his function, he should have skills. The Robert L. Kurtz, he introduced 3 types of a skill that the manager should possess and develop. And some skills are vary according to the managerial levels in the organizational structure. Look at, now there are 3 types of skills all the managers should develop. Now, but if you just look at this diagram, you see that there are 3 levels of managers: top manager, middle level management, and the first line management. That means supervisors, junior officers. They are first line managers. So in that various level, that they are, this type of skills should be practiced. So again we see what are the skills. Now technical skills, that job related knowledge, that means the junior officers, supervisors, they are the people, frontline people. They are the people who are working with their subordinates. For that, they should have a very good knowledge about their day-to-day routine work. That is technical skills. Now every manager develop the human skill. That means every manager should have ability to understand their subordinate. They should work with their subordinates, getting the works done, and they must know how to motivate their employees and get the things done. In that way, the human skill also one of the skills all the managers should develop. 3 levels of managers has to develop this skill. But conceptual skill is a different thing. That of course you can see these conceptual skills should really develop by the top management people. That means board of directors, general managers, senior executive officers, right? They are always develop their conceptual skills. Why they develop that? They are the people should have a broad mind, broad understanding about their organization, and he should have the ability to understand internal and all external environment, especially environmental changes, right? He should understand. According to that, he must solve the problems of the organization using his creativity, innovations. Nowadays, this is essential for the higher officers, and even the conceptual skill should be developed that higher officers for what? The preparation of corporate plan. And corporate plan, one of the most important things is the corporate plan should have strategies. Strategies means some innovative things which should be implemented in the organization to have the sustainability or to retention of the organization, right? So because of that, strategies is very important, right? The all corporate plan should have the strategies. So that type of develop that type of implementation of that type of strategies, formulation of that type of strategies, that higher officers should have the conceptual skill. And higher officers should know, using their skill, they must do integration of all the sectors of the organization. Now I think you may understand what is the importance of conceptual skills. So now if you see this diagram, that not like first line managers, the top managers should more time allocate for to improve their conceptual skills, right? They should they should have innovative ideas, right, to develop for the organization. Now we will go to the lessons, right? Management process. Now, if you think the management as a process, right? There are a lot of inputs are there: human resource, physical resource, financial resource. Nowadays, information resource also play a vital role. These are the resources. These resources should be converted into the output. Output is the last result. That means achieving the goals and objectives. For that, for do this transformation, this four management function is very important. What are the four management functions? Planning, organizing, leading and controlling. Right? These are the four basic management functions. This function should, if you just look at the general idea of this function, the planning is the process of establishing goals and objectives, using the strategies to achieve the goals and objectives. But in a simple manner, we can say planning is a decide the future and actions. What is organization? Organization is, right, to do this planning, right, the resources should be allocated. And to do these things, authority and power should be given, delegated. In that manner, we are able to get goals and objective efficiently and effectively. In simple manner, we can say organizing is allocating necessities. The leading means all this process, how human involvement, how human involved. That means leading means that leading motivation, and the communication. That means all three show how humans are involved in this process, right? And motivating people, right? Giving the leaderships, everything we call as a leading. The controlling means, now we are going on a trip. We are going to some to achieve some objectives. For that, we must know whether we are going really, right? Actual situation and identify, right? That plan performance should be evaluated every time. The progress should be reviewed. That is we call controlling. Simple manner we can say, we will see is it happening. But this management function, when we think, now sometime the examiner, once time, 2018 examiner asked whether that the examiner wants to know whether you have really understand this theory, right? To understand theory, he asked a practical question: how to organize the Commerce Day, right? But you should be very careful in that question here, how management function is operating in this event. So then, in that event, when you think about how management function, right, operating, the first you think about the planning. Planning means you can say that to do this event, what is the goal of this event? What are the dates? Right? Who are the visitors you are going to invite? Right? What are the strategies you use for collecting the funds? These are planning. When you are organizing, what do you do? When you are organizing, you have to really prepare action plan, activities, and establishment of committees, right? And allocation for their resources and giving some authority, right, to organize these things. This is our organizing part. When we talk about leading, about the planning of this Commerce Day, right? Leading means what things? That means how do you motivate the students to do this program, right? Then how do you have the smooth communication among the committees, right? And actually, next one, then these committees, right? Performance should be every time discussed, right? That also coming under leading part. Controlling means now this one, for this you prepare an agenda. According to agenda, you must see whether we are doing our program. And progress reviews. You must find out that whether these the allocate the duties, everything are doing properly. Progress has to be evaluated, right? And even after the program over, you can get the feedback of the principals and participants. Likewise, how this management function is operating in this all in this Commerce Day programs organized in the Commerce Day. Likewise, in the exam, if you give an event, you should have ability to, right, talk about how management function is involved in this event, right? So now other thing you have to understand. Even I have just talked about different different functions, but all the functions have interrelations, right? Now, if you look at this program, the function of a management process, I have just give a brief idea, right? All the lessons, how this function is, have the interlink, and what each function, what are the steps involved in this function, right? So one by one I will explain you. Next, actually the planning is very important. Even your exam, you have to plan. If you don't plan, that means you are planning to fail, right? So your exam also apply this planning system. Now, if you look at this planning process, right, that is different from applying management function. That's a different thing. This is a planning process. Now in the planning process, very simple. First we think, where do we go, right? Where we want to go. It's explained by vision, mission, goals and objectives. For that question, answer, we are explaining it, vision, mission and goals and objectives. Vision is the dream, ultimate goal. Mission means if you want to achieve your dream, what you do? Your stakeholders, right? Stakeholders in any organization, who are the stakeholders? Your customers, employees, social environment. Then what way you are going to treat these people, it is explained in mission statement. And again, mission statement always explain why this organization exists, the process of the organization. These things are explained in mission statement. Then you should know the goals. Goals is something, some idea, right? some values you're going to give your customers. As example, sometimes we say goals. We can say as example, we are giving the excellent service to the customers. That's a goal. But objective is different. Objective is, it is explaining, right, anything in the smart form. Now, as example, we can say that profit of that organization will be increased 10% by within next 1 year. That is smart, very specific, can be measured, can be achieved, results and time is there, right? That is objectives. So first we discuss number 1 in this way. What is number 2? That where are we now? Where are we now? We will explain in situation analysis. The situation analysis can use any form, right? SWOT analysis, FAST, or marketing audit, resource audit. Out of all these analysis, what is the ultimate goal? Ultimate, what you do, you will understand what are the business opportunities you should understand, right? If you understand the business opportunities, then you know how they get the results from these business opportunities. That means, third one, how do we go to achieve these objectives? How do we go? For that we use tactics and strategies. Tactics means short terms. Now, sometime to satisfy our customers, we will give some incentives. That is tactics. But long term, every time we cannot give incentives. For that, we will improve the customer service very excellent manner. That is the strategy. Because strategy is the long term. Tactics is the short terms. Right? Then next, we will go into implement the plan. For the implementation of plan, action plan is very important. Right? Action plan is very important. Action plan is what? It says what is this duty, what is the activity, who is responsible, what is the duration, what is the resource allocation, what is the expected results, like that, and who are the responsible people. So, implementation, action, preparation of action plan is very important, right? After that, what we do, according to these action plans, programs, we have to find out whether really we are going. For that, we apply control plan, right? So now, these are basic steps of planning. Now, sometimes this planning, always, we can't say even we plan this way. Once time examiner asks, what are the practical problem of planning? So many practically, if we are going to implement this planning process, sometimes you are not getting expected results. Why? Because in lot of organization, even the plan is preparing by board of directors or some higher management, but they are not really capable to sell this plan to their subordinate. That means that the subordinate might not give you the correct support. They are not motivated to do according to the plan. That is the one of the practical problem. Same time, the strategies that are being explained in this plan may not be able to inculcate in your organization, right? Strategies really cannot be implemented. That's also another practical problem. And same time, if they don't really not prepare an action plan and not allocate the resources and everything properly, what will happen? Implementation not happen. likewise, you should have an idea. You in the examiner ask that type, why this, what are the practical problem may not get, not to get the correct results of planning. So you must able to right, think in that manner, answer this question, right? Now you look at next one, organizing. The organizing, I have given the steps, I have talked about the principles, right? Then you can just see benefit of organizing, but same time even we have I like to go to next slides and see what are the principles of organizing, right? So this principle, one by one, I am going to explain. The chain of command, that is one of the principles of organizing. What is this? That specifies who reports to whom in an organization, right? Then unity of command, that means every organization there must be a one boss, right? All one employee is responsible only for one supervisor. That is we call unity of command, only one boss, right? And other thing, according to a principle of organizing, another most important principle is authority responsibility must be established properly. Delegation of authority, when you give in, that delegate the authority, and responsibility should be correctly established. Otherwise, the other relevant officers not accountable for this tasks. And scalar change, that means continuous flow of authority and command from top management to low level management. And other important principle of organization is span of control. That means now how many employees directly report to the manager. That is known as the span of control, right? But a span of controls, right? If there are two types of span of control, right? Narrow and broad type of span of control, right? So, but according to span of control, it depends in organization according to the following factors: nature of the task, talent of the head, and experience of subordinate, delegation policies of the organization, that one officer can handle more people. Sometimes he cannot handle a lot of people, he can only few people. Everything depends on, right? That means span of control should be determined by the higher officer, right? And making some understanding, right, about the following factors. Now, step of organizing. Now you can just really understand. But here, step of organizing, one thing is I have to explain here, organizational chart. Once time the examiner asked that question. The organizational chart means hierarchical structure, different management levels and their skill. Even some organizational charts look pyramid type. Why? Because in some organization, low level, right, junior level, managers are more managers than the higher level. That is why the organizational charts look pyramid type. Okay. Now, next point I want to explain the leading process. Right, leading process means really involvement is human for this management function. What the first involvement? Leadership. Leadership means ability to guide others without force. Later I will explain everything. Most important thing is leadership. He should get acceptance of subordinate. right? Then next point is the motivation, right? Then last one is the communication. I will explain one by one. Look at leader. Every manager is not a leader. Why? Because manager is appointed by that higher people, right? That organization, management appoint the manager, but subordinate may not accept him, right? That is why some managers are not leaders. But if you really want to get the things done properly, if you to work as a team, right? If you to have achieve the objectives involved in the staff, every manager develop this is leadership skill. That is why we say every manager should be a leader. Now we have a difference between manager and leader. Now I don't want to go one by one, but I will just explain you what is the real difference. Leader is the person who get acceptance of subordinate. He has a broad vision and the mission. He always think not only the organization, he always think benefit, welfare of their subordinate. And he not going to do the control. What he do, formal, informal or formal manner, he will direct the subordinate. He don't think that the people working under him as a staff. He think they are my followers, they are my subordinate. But manager always think they are my employees. That is the difference between the manager and the leader. But same time, you should understand, once time there was a question, what's the difference between leader and entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is the person who take the risks and understand the opportunities, right? And to avoid the risks, he come with lot of innovative solutions, innovation. These are the main qualities of the entrepreneur, right? But leader is not. Leader also sometimes may be an entrepreneur, but leader has the different qualities, right? Then if you look at this, my full diagrams, you can, what I explain you can understand his qualities, power, function and everything, right? Now, in the examiner once time asked this leadership style. Now, leadership style, they are two ways it has been have to explain. The way of leaders' performance. The way of leaders' performance, autocratic, democratic and laissez-faire leader, right? Now, actually, autocratic, he always he is the person, right? He take decision, right? He want all power is centralized, right? He is an autocratic type of leader. Democratic leader means he always considers the followers' opinion before taking decision. He get to a subordinate ideas, right? Their contribution, right? Okay, then give some freedom is given to the subordinate toward the work. But laissez-faire leader is what he does. He is a different person, right? He give high freedom to followers, right? But to apply this laissez-faire leadership, most important thing is that your subordinate should be a very highly experienced expertise people. I can just explain you the example. Now you see that eradicating this coronavirus, there is a task force going under the president, right? What he do, there he is really a laissez-faire leader. He gives freedom, right, to that committee. Why? Because he understands that committee people are very highly expertise and well-experienced, educated people. So give them the freedom. You go to this, what the president is doing here. As a laissez-faire leader, he really in this place do only monitoring part. Now I think you will understand the difference between democratic and laissez-faire, right? And same way, sometime examiner he might ask this time different behavior pattern or style of leaders. There are two types of leaders: task-oriented leader and the employee-oriented leader. You have to understand that, right? Now, for the task-oriented leader and the employee-oriented leader or people-oriented leader, that theory has been explained by Blackmore, right? Now, if you just look at that, the task-oriented leader, what he is doing, he always think about the task, right? He never understand what the employees need, but he make close supervision and get the thing done. The human aspect neglected, right? But people-oriented person, he always think what are the needs of the people, what are their problems, right? And he build up good climate to do the works, right? But in result-oriented, sometimes both may be correct. Both might give the result. But you have to understand what is the real two different leadership styles. Then why? Then we talk about the motivation. Motivation is what? As a leader, you try to get things done from your subordinate. What do? You really motivate the people. Even for this motivation, there are lot type of incentives are using. But actually, financial institutes not play a major role. Why? Because when you give the financial incentive, it's come as a normal thing, right? But sometimes if you don't give these things, they might get upset, frustrated. But for the motivation, I don't think that financial incentive play major role. But non-financial incentives play major roles. But as a leader, to motivate your staff, what you do? You must really allow people to come with their solution. Make the environment very favorable, friendly environment, creation of favorable, friendly environment, then people are motivated and give them training opportunities, right? And sometimes what do? Even the management process, we will give chance, we give some powers, right? And we will give some responsibility. You do this. If you done this work, we will appreciate the employee, right? And in that way, these are the new way of motivating the people, right? So now, if you motivate the real employees, what will be the result? Increase the productivity, right? Increase the commitment of the employment and reduce the absenteeism, and employee turnover will decrease, right? And it helps to develop the industrial relationship. And sometimes if you really motivate your employees, what will happen? They will come with new innovative ideas, right? So now you see the controlling. Now I talk about various function of management. Last one is the controlling. Now this controlling function is very important because it is a method of progress review, right? So to do the review, what we should do, but one we have to understand, students should understand, controlling and the administration is two things. Normally administration is done by the supervisors, controlling done by the managers. How they do the controlling? What they do, they will establish the standard and check with the real levels, real outcomes, measure the performance. If they look at if there are any variation, deviation, then again they take corrective action. They change the standard, or sometimes they give more, allocate more resources, right? And same time this controlling could be done, even the starting point, forward control. And sometimes you can do the control when the program is going on, the concurrent control can be done. Or sometimes if something has happened, we don't get this correct expected result, then we get the feedback and do the control. Right? Then Putha, I explain you every area essential for your this part. Right? So, actually, if you want that there are some complete level 10 to 18 with diagram, short notes and case studies. If you want other lessons like this, you can call to this number, right? Same time, Putha, what you have to do, now if you really go through this my video, then you try to answer these questions and get the correction, you send to your teacher, and you send your answer to teacher, right? If you really follow this video, you might able to understand this question, right? Then Buddha, thank you. Now next video I will explain you about this practical way of doing export and import, right? Now I am Gamage. If you think if it is useful, right, please subscribe. Thank you, Buddha. Right, okay.